I'm Joyelle Johnson, and I'm from New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl. I didn't have what I thought was a good childhood because I never thought I was like fit in anywhere, you know? So I had to go away a lot. I went to all types of camps and things like that. So I don't know. I like Jersey, but I also like living other places in the world. I went to college in Boston, moved to Los Angeles after I graduated college, and I would go to the Laugh Factory every Sunday. And I would just look at the comedy and just knew that it was something I wanted to do, but I never thought I'd have, the guts to do it. So that was about 5 years ago. So I've been doing comedy for about 4.5 years now. I finally got the guts up. I never thought of myself as always being funny because I would just kind of be the observer on the outside looking in, which most comics are. So I kind of put myself out there because I'd always loved stand-up comedy. It wasn't an open mic. It was an actual show in Long Beach, California, ran by this guy Scrunch Show in the hood of Long Beach. And I got on stage and I completely bombed. And when I got off stage, this comedian, Tommy Chun, who had thrown me on stage, he told me, "You're a comedian now, so don't stop." And I was like, "But I bombed." He was like, "If you're not bombing, you're not a comic." So it was a good thing. After that, I couldn't stop doing comedy. It's almost a compulsion. A lot of stand-up comedians have this compulsive need to always be on stage, and I have that, especially in New York. You could get on 2-3 times a night and you kind of feel weird if you don't get up, unsettled even. I loved LA. There are other issues not to like LA, but for acting it's great, but for stand-up it's not. So I was told to move back to the East Coast, and I'm happy that I did. It was the best decision I made in 2009. They're not focusing on stand-up out there because all the stand-up comedians that are actually successful go out there. So you're competing with, Bill Burrs and Maria Bamfords and stuff for stage time, and it's like, who wants to see me when they can see Maria Bamford for free? Oh, and that's the thing that people think, once a comedian gets on television or gets known, they think, oh, they came out of nowhere. No, we didn't come out of nowhere. We've been grinding for years. So I go to open mics. I'm going to go to an open mic after this. I was at open mics yesterday, so I do open mics every day if I can. Yes, 40 Acres and a Stool, based in Atlanta, Georgia. I moved to Atlanta last year after I left California because my parents live down there. So I was able to be down there for about 6 months, and I really got acclimated to the scene, and the comedians love me down there, so I love them. And I got with a group. We call ourselves 40 Acres and a Stool. It's me, my friend Odinaka, Dulce Sloan, and A.K. Bjorn, and another guy, Rob Hayes, are members of the group. So whenever I'm in Atlanta, we perform together, and we perform. I'm a yoga instructor, so I do that. And I actually do private instruction, so destination yoga around the city. And I taught in Los Angeles. That's where I learned my yoga. And what else? Reading. Is that a regular hobby that everybody has? Yes. I'm currently reading The Alchemist. So that's a great book for a traveler such as myself. So, yeah. I read, I yoga, I comedy. Are ever going to perform overseas, just say you're there on vacation. I learned that the hard way. I went to London to perform with a friend of mine. Her name is Gina Yashere. She is one of my favorite comedians, one of my big sisters in comedy, and I was going to open up for her at the Hackney Empire, which is a 2,000-seat theater. So when I got to Heathrow Airport, they asked me what I was doing in the country, and I so very excitedly say, "I'm here to do stand-up." And they were like, "Oh, really? You don't have a work permit." Locked me up in a holding cell in Heathrow for 16 hours. I cried the whole entire time, and I was sent back on a plane back to the United States of America. So it was an 11-hour flight from Los Angeles to London, 18 hours in the cell, 11-hour flight back to Los Angeles. So if you're going to go to the UK, you're just there on vacation. That is my disclaimer to every comedian in the land. Vacation.